All right, hello everybody and welcome to Edinburgh Cottage. Today's video is going to be just a little bit weird because I filmed a video the other day and it was supposed to be me trying out all of these different recipes with orange freeze-dried powder instead of using orange juice, and you know how I can use this orange freeze-dried powder. And some of the clips, most of them, did not record, or I lost them in translation somewhere. So I only have the clips from me making the orange chicken bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you how those other things ended up. The orange chicken sauce ended up, I liked it. My husband didn't like it as much. It was just a little bit on the bitter side. And the vinaigrette turned out amazing. So we did a honey orange vinaigrette. It was delicious and it tasted like you just put a whole orange in there. You couldn't really taste the bitterness. It was awesome. And then I did an orange flavored whipped cream, and that was good. And I also ended up putting it in my hot chocolate, which was really good as well. So it was just nice having, it was honestly like drinking one of those chocolate oranges, but not as rich. It was very good. And so the only video I have is the one of me making the orange chicken sauce. And like I said, I like it. For future preserving of stuff though, I've already done the lemons. I zested the lemons. I did put that zest on a freeze dryer tray and I took off the rind and then just sliced the lemons from there. The rind I just have in the freezer just to do other stuff with, like cleaning supplies and stuff, but, or whatever else it turns into. But the, lemons, like meat, I guess, is what I ended up putting into, onto the freeze dryer trays, and they haven't gone in the freeze dryer yet, but they're ready to go. So that is what this video is going to be, is just me making that sauce. And then we'll watch that, and then I'll just kind of go over some stuff in my kitchen here in just a second. Today we're going to be trying out some recipes using my freeze-dried orange powder. We bought some oranges a few weeks ago and did not eat through them as fast as we thought we would. So because we have a freeze dryer now, I decided to slice them all up, put them in the freeze dryer, and powder them. I know you can also do that with the dehydrator, but I don't think I've tried that one yet. But I ended up with this really beautiful freeze-dried orange powder. And I was really excited to use it in all of my baked goods and everything. And then I saw online that some people had said not to use the pith and to cut out the pith, the white part of the orange rind, when making this freeze-dried goodness. So I did not do that. And I tasted it, and it leans a little bit on the, I can tell there's a teeny hint of bitterness. You can't super tell. You can kind of tell. So I decided to give it a few good tries before I decide how I'm going to do my limes and lemons that I have sitting on the table in the future. So we are going to be making an orange vinaigrette. We're going to be making a orange chicken sauce, and we're going to be making whipped cream with a little bit of orange flavor, so orange whipped cream. And the reason I'm doing the whipped cream is because whipped cream is a pretty light flavor, so I'll be able to tell with the powder if that bitterness really comes through or not. So I'm excited to get these started, and here we go. So this isn't a cooking video per se. Like, I'm not gonna go over the recipes and the ingredients and stuff. I'm just gonna cook as I normally cook. But really just using this orange powder and just kind of my thoughts as I go along, I guess, and how it cooks up and stuff. So it's really just kind of like a play with me kind of thing. So I am going to add some water here, and I did not add the orange powder yet. So I want half a cup of orange juice, which means I have no idea how much orange powder I need to add. That looks fine. It's probably gonna be really concentrated, but that's fine. And it just looks like, maybe I'll get this in a little bit of my phone video so you guys can see it too. Yeah, but you can kind of see it's just powder. mixes in really well. Give it a minute to rehydrate. But it looks like orange juice to me. I guess I could taste it. All right. I actually want to give this a little bit of a taste because I'm curious. Because this isn't freeze-dried orange juice. This is freeze-dried oranges, like whole oranges. Okay. Very orangey. You can definitely tell the pith is in there. Like, it's not orange juice where it's just pure sweet. You can tell there's a little bit of the bitterness. But I think that'll play really nicely with the more savory dishes. Okay, so we've got that going. We'll add our brown sugar and our maple syrup. And then I am using ACV instead of white rice, because I just don't have that kind of vinegar. And then also of the soy sauce. And we use low sodium because John really isn't a fan of like super salty things. Soy sauce traditionally qualifies as that. Besides, I don't think the super saltiness of normal soy sauce really plays well sometimes with some recipes. It just adds too much salt. Soy sauce, garlic, and then ginger. We'll just go ahead and do the ginger. So I just have ginger paste from the store. And then these ginger cloves were freeze-dried. And I just crushed them. I don't know if you can really tell that my food's leaving the item. I crushed them with a knife and I chopped the bigger pieces that I didn't really want to crush. And the only reason I have these cloves freeze-dried is because we bought a big Sam's bag of garlic cloves that were already pre-peeled and everything. They're just in a bag and they were just starting to not go bad, but I could tell that they were going to go bad soon. So just preserve it and keep using it. Like, why toss out a whole massive bag of garlic? So, okay. And oil. So what smells delicious, the only thing is here that I noticed that's different from the last time I've made it with orange juice is that you do have some of the orange pithy pieces that did not blend well in the blender, and I did sift it out, but then I just tossed them all in there, so I kind of didn't sift my powder, but there are definitely some orange pithy pieces in here, and so it's not like a completely smooth mixture. So I'm interested to see how it tastes cooked with that texture in there. All right, now let's make our cornstarch slurry. I didn't add the ACV yet. Cool, okay, that is added. We'll see. Maybe we have 2 times the amount of ACV. Who knows? And making our cornstarch slurry. And then we'll take it over to the stove. All right, definitely not a perfect view here, but you can see kind of what I was talking about those little pithy pieces being in there. And I really don't know that that'll hurt the texture in the end, especially like when it's coated over chicken or pork or beef or whatever you're coating it over, noodles. So we'll see. Anyway, okay, I should probably put this in here. And then you're just gonna cook it for 3 to 5 minutes, let it hit a boil, and then you'll add your cornstarch, let it boil for a little bit longer, and then you're good to go. So it definitely smells wonderful. I was kind of wondering if with all these boiling, all the pithy pieces would kind of break down a little bit, but I don't think they will. Because they're just turning back into what they were beforehand because they're getting rehydrated. So I should probably just, if I want to do anything where I'm going to be super particular about like how smooth something is. All right, it's been about 3 minutes. We shall stir in our slurry and let it boil. Alrighty. We will let that sit and stew for a bit. So, apologize for the background, except for that little cuties right there. But, so yeah, going over stuff in the kitchen, because I was just talking to my mom, and she was like, okay, what did you do for the garlic? Because they want to do freeze-dried garlic to use it for more meal prep and need ideas. So I'm just gonna kind of go over some stuff that I've done real quick. These are freeze-dried baby portobello mushrooms. They're pretty good I'm using them mostly, I mean, they're really good for just obviously anything that you need mushrooms in. You can rehydrate them or you can not rehydrate them and just kind of toss them in stuff. I am actually gonna use them later today for a green bean casserole. I'm gonna make a cream of mushroom soup for that casserole, so it would be really good for cream of mushroom soup, for beef stroganoff, stuff like that. So that's stuff that I've bought and have already chopped up nice and pretty for meal prep. This is all just for nice easy meal prep stuff. I do have some freeze-dried poblano peppers, which are quite spicy. I've put this in my bread and made cheddar. Although it wasn't cheddar, it was like a Beecher's cheese, which is kind of like a cheddar. Cheddar jalapeno like bread, and it was really delicious. I should have put more of this honestly in it, but that's okay. These are chopped shallots, and I plan on doing this with my onions as well. And they're freeze-dried, ready to go in anything. Yesterday I used them to make a cheesy potato soup. I used it, melted my butter and did the shallots and garlic, which I have here in my butter before I made my roux with my flour. Really good. I did rehydrate those with some chicken broth, which I have canned, which I was going to use in the recipe anyway, so I didn't use water to rehydrate those, which was nice. Probably could have rehydrated them a little bit more, used some hot broth, because I could tell that they weren't, I could tell that there were some raw pieces of shallot in there, so that's nothing against the freeze-dried. It's probably just me not cooking them enough. These are my garlics. These are whole peeled cloves of garlic, and I had got them in a bag from Costco or Sam's or something like that, and just dumped them on the tray because they were just about to go bad. They weren't bad yet, but they were about to. So I was like, I'm just gonna toss them, because that's what freeze dryers are really good for, is you can just toss your leftovers or whatever's gonna go bad in the freezer and then just freeze dry it, and then you're not wasting all of that food, which is awesome. Anyway, so these garlics do freeze dry whole. The thing is that when you use them, you still have to chop them. So next time I do garlic, I will be chopping them. And I probably will do some roasted garlic as well, just to have that flavor profile. So onions, I'm going to do, I have some in the freezer. I need to do more just for like, so I use a lot in sauteing and like aromatics for a meal, but also in fajitas and stuff like that. We eat a lot of fajitas, although we haven't eaten in a couple of weeks. So I say that, but we haven't done it recently. So just kind of meals like that. We have some bell peppers freeze dried for that as well. I went ahead and did my zucchini, some of my zucchini from the garden, which this was 3 little bags worth, which is crazy that it kind of compresses down into that much. But I have this, and I just tossed it in the blender real quick. It's not even powdered, it's just chopped. I have that for zucchini breads, and I have no idea what the rehydration ratio is, so I'll have to play around with that a lot. I need to start weighing out my trays and see what the stuff is, but I just haven't been. This is banana. So I pureed a bunch of banana, put it out on the freeze dry sheet, and it tastes really good. I powdered it for like banana breads and stuff like that, smoothies, desserts, and stuff like that. But actually, if you fracture it and put it into like a peppermint bark kind of situation, and you just have like those kind of, it's really good. It's actually really good. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of, because it's kind of like a baby treat, so you could easily make baby food with that as well. We just finished, I picked these up last night. These are just snap peas, sugar snap peas, and we tossed them in, and they taste so fresh. They taste like you are eating a fresh pea, and it's just less hassle. As stupid as it is, it's just less hassle. It's not white or anything. We have some raspberries that we finished last night as well. Let's see here. I have a bunch of tomatoes from the garden. I have carrots, which these are sliced carrots. So I actually, the round discs, I actually have those for snacks. But I have some somewhere in here, and I'm not going to be able to find them, that are diced for soups and other stuff like that, like mirepoix kind of stuff. So also along that mirepoix line, I have lots of celery. Let's see what else I have here. I did some butternut squash. I just went to Costco and just got one of those tubs of butternut squash just to test and see how it would do, the already trimmed stuff, ready to like roast, and it's really good. You can just eat it raw. It's pretty decent. So my plan for this next video that I'm going to do here in a minute, we're going to do the bell peppers and the celery and the bananas were all on sale today. So I went and picked up a bunch of those, and we're just going to do a bunch of peppers. We're going to do a bunch of celery, and I don't think we're going to puree the banana this time because I don't know. I'll probably just freeze it in little cubes and, you know, do it that way. But we'll go over that in the next video. But so those are some of the ideas that I have right now. Like I said, I have all this orangey stuff that I just did the half video on. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. I do have a lot of like dried stuff from, dehydrated stuff from earlier this year. Like seasonings and stuff from the garden. But in terms of freeze dried, it's really just meal preppy items. So kind of think of what you use in items, meals, and just go ahead and prep that and freeze dry it. And that way it just makes a really easy, fast meal. I put together a few meals recently with some freeze dried aspects, and it made it so much faster. It was awesome. One thing I just did is yesterday, so I guess I will do this. So my husband got me a KitchenAid food processor attachment with the dicer blade in it for Christmas, and it's been wonderful. Yesterday I just got a whole bag of potatoes that we had in the pantry and just diced them all. So I have 3 trays of diced, now freezing raw potatoes on the freeze dryer trays, freezing. I did some sweet potatoes, and some of the potatoes I went ahead and used for dinner last night. So we made a cheesy potato soup, and it was perfect. They're small dices, so you wouldn't be able to use it for everything, but it was so fast, so easy, so awesome just to get all of that like zipped and done. It was pretty wonderful, and that's what's gonna make all of this prep really easy to do and really fast. So yeah, I think that's all for this video, but really just kind of think what you use to make your normal meals, and then just kind of like what makes sense to be freeze dried, what makes, like what doesn't. Like you don't need to freeze dry every aspect of a meal, like, because also you want to be like conservative of your energy and your time, because it takes this last batch, because of the bananas, I ran it for 50 hours. That was my choice. It didn't probably have to be anywhere that long, but that's a long cycle to just have stuff that you don't really need to use all the time. So kind of think of the stuff that you use often and how you use it and how you want to prep it and stuff. So on to the next video.